From your smartphone to your electric car, lithium-ion batteries have powered our modern world for decades. They've been the engine of the clean energy revolution. But they're also hitting a wall. The dream of electric airplanes and cars that can drive for 1,000 miles has always crashed into a fundamental trade-off. You can have a lot of power, or you can have a light battery, but you can't have both. Until now. Researchers at MIT have just unveiled something that could rewrite the rules of energy storage. It's a new type of sodium-air fuel cell, and it achieves more than 5 times the energy density of the best lithium-ion batteries today. This isn't just an incremental improvement. It's a potential turning point for the future of clean energy. Earlier this year, MIT's Materials Science Department published their findings on a solid-state sodium-air fuel cell. The numbers are staggering. It reached an energy density of around 1,500 watt-hours per kilogram. To put that in perspective, the battery in a typical electric car today is around 250 to 300 watt-kilograms. Even after accounting for the whole system, the MIT cell could deliver about $1,000 watt-kilograms. That means a battery pack that weighs 1/3 as much, but stores the same amount of energy. For electric planes and long-haul trucks, that is a complete game-changer. So, how does this magic work? Unlike a normal battery that keeps everything sealed inside, a fuel cell pulls in reactants from the outside. In this case, the fuel is molten sodium metal, which reacts with oxygen drawn straight from the air. The secret sauce is a special ceramic membrane that sits in the middle. It allows sodium ions to pass through, but keeps the molten sodium and air safely separated. Because the oxygen comes from the air, the battery doesn't have to carry its own supply, making the whole system incredibly lightweight and energy-dense. Previous attempts at this kind of technology failed because the cells would clog up and corrode after just a few uses. But MIT's ceramic electrolyte is tough and stable, and they made another clever discovery. Adding a tiny bit of humidity to the air keeps the cell from getting clogged with solid byproducts. It is like the cell needs to breathe just the right amount of moist air to keep running smoothly. When the sodium and oxygen react, they eventually form sodium carbonate, which is basically just baking soda. This is huge, because unlike lithium-ion batteries that rely on scarce and controversial metals like cobalt and nickel, this fuel cell runs on sodium and air. Sodium is thousands of times more abundant than lithium. It's cheap, and you can find it anywhere. This makes the technology not just sustainable, but also geopolitically stable. Now, before you get too excited, this isn't ready to go into your phone tomorrow. This is still a lab prototype, a proof of concept. The researchers have formed a startup called Propel Aero to scale up the design, starting with drones and urban air taxis. But the fact that they've proven it's possible is a massive scientific milestone. When you hear a headline like 500% better than lithium-ion, it sounds like hype. But in this case, it refers to energy density, how much power you can pack into a certain weight. This is the single most important number for aviation. Experts agree that electric planes need batteries that can deliver at least $800 to $1,000 watt-kulu to be practical for anything beyond short hops. The MIT fuel cell clears that bar. It proves that the barrier to electric flight is no longer a law of physics. It's an engineering challenge we can actually solve. Of course, there are still major hurdles. One is power density, how quickly the battery can release its energy. Lithium-ion batteries are great at delivering quick bursts of power for acceleration. Fuel cells are usually better at slow, steady output. The MIT team is already working on boosting the power without sacrificing safety. Another challenge is heat. The cell needs to be hot enough to keep the sodium in a liquid state, which requires clever engineering for insulation and safety. But perhaps the most exciting part is how this could transform our infrastructure. Instead of waiting hours for a battery to recharge, you could simply swap out a spent sodium cartridge for a new one in minutes, just like refueling a gas-powered car. Imagine electric planes landing, swapping fuel modules, and taking off again almost instantly. This model could work for heavy trucks, industrial equipment, and even as backup power for entire cities. From an environmental standpoint, the benefits are clear. We could move away from the destructive mining practices associated with lithium and cobalt. Sodium is sourced from salt, and the main byproduct is harmless baking soda. It's a clean, circular system. This research represents what comes after lithium, not as a direct replacement for everything, but as the next step in our energy evolution. This breakthrough also offers a solution to a growing global problem: energy security. As the world goes electric, the demand for lithium and cobalt is set to skyrocket, creating new dependencies on a few mineral-rich countries. A technology based on globally abundant sodium and air could break that bottleneck, giving nations true energy independence. Ultimately, what the MIT team has created is more than just a powerful new battery. It's a symbol of possibility. It shows that with creative thinking, we can overcome the fundamental limits that have held back progress for so long. It tells us that a future of zero-emission flight and abundant, clean energy isn't a distant dream. It's an engineering problem that is now, finally, within our reach. This research represents a 500% improvement in imagination, showing us a new way to power our planet. Thanks for watching. If you found this as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories on the technologies shaping our future.